Maybe I stopped it somehow. But that's weird. Should be good on battery. Okay.
So can the firm directly identify customers' demands for the products you want them to know?
Right. Right. So there, if that answer to the question was no, then maybe we can do some bundling and see how. Now this could be somewhat of an experiment too of, well, what if we bundled this together? Would that be a good idea or not? But the one thing that has to kind of hold true is the box above. So I don't want you to lose sight of that. What does the box above say? Yeah, do they have different demand curves? And kind of more specifically with bundling, we need that some people might like one a lot more than the other, and then that's when we can start to take advantage of some bundling. Okay. Any other last comments on that?
Don't you kind of know their demands since you know that each price they're willing to buy?
Well, in the real world, though, where do these come from? You know, do we really know what this particular person's maximum willingness to pay? So that's where it's a little bit theoretical that we might not really have this data, and so then you have to take kind of a more pragmatic approach. I mean, if you're a small business, you might just kind of dabble a little bit or see if people would be willing to do that, and people start to find value. You also start to see why people start to find value with things. Did I tell you guys my AT&T bundling story?
No.
Did I tell you that one? When I bought AT&T and bundling. Okay, you guys are familiar that like the cable company offers now phone, cable, and internet, right? So you got that type of thing. So when I first moved to Ottawa, I had a willingness to pay. Of course, I knew this; they didn't know this, but I had a willingness to pay $50 roughly for internet. But I had basically a zero willingness to pay for cable. I didn't want cable. I might have been willing to pay $5 or something. I don't know, but for the most part, I didn't watch that much cable. I find it to be kind of a distraction, and also I know that I can get internet TV to watch, you know, Netflix and all that stuff. So I was a little more modern, I guess, than some other people my age, maybe. So I also had cell phones, so I had zero use for the residential cell phone. So I call them up and say, hey, I want some cable, and well, sir, we have this bundling option for $65. Whereas if you buy each one individually, like the little thing that they send in the mail, it's like your choice, $30 a piece. 30, 30, 30 equals 90. Or you can bundle them for 65. So when I called up, they don't know my preferences. If I'm a person who has to have my cable television because I got to get my soaps in, right? Or am I a person that has to have a landline because I don't have a cell phone? Or am I a professor at a university that's dependent on good high-speed internet, right? They don't know who I am when I call up. And so by having each one individually priced at 30, then you call in thinking that, oh, well, I'll get the internet for 30. But then if my willingness to pay for cable would have been 20 but not 30, they would have sucked me in, right? And got me the landline too. So they would have garnered another $15 from me. Instead of paying $50 a month to the cable company, I'm paying $65. What's the marginal cost of them giving me cable TV when I'm already buying cable internet? What's the marginal cost, you figure? Is that a huge number? The marginal cost to the cable company of providing me cable television when I've already committed to cable internet, damn close to zero, right? Yeah, I mean, it's zero. There's no cost to them really at all. So they're completely playing this game, kind of similar to our health club membership here. If you've already purchased the weights and you've already purchased the pool, you've got the lion's share of the cost already embodied in it. And then you do have some operating costs, like this problem says, of maintaining and squirting the little stuff on the weight machines and chemicals for the pool, et cetera, et cetera. You've got some of that cost, but a lot of that's gone. So for a lot of companies, when marginal costs are low, you can take advantage of getting more dollars out of consumers' products for things that you've already got a fixed cost by doing these bundling schemes. And that's why they work. That's why we see them, because they're there to maximize profit.
So did you have cable or not?
No, I didn't, because it didn't meet my willingness to pay for cable. Now, on a side note that I should probably stop the video for, that was through AT&T. And AT&T wasn't able to provide me the speed internet that I was purchasing because of the phone lines coming into my house. Literally, it's impossible to bring them over the phone lines. So I decided to switch to cable internet, and kind of the same story that I just told you. However, and again, I've already told you I have a zero willingness to pay for cable, right? So this is going to legitimize even on camera here. I was told that it's impossible for the cable company to bring you internet into your house without bringing you at least a minimum level of cable television, because it's all coming over the cable. All right, so you've got this internet and you've got cable all coming together over it. So as soon as the cable installer left my house, cable putting in internet, hooked it up to my router and all that stuff, as soon as he got in his car and he left, I pulled it out, plugged it into my TV, and I've got cable too. So then you just split the lines, and I've got cable. Now, I don't get any satisfaction from it. If the cable company wants to come tomorrow and stop it, I don't care. I've lived without cable for 2.5 years now, but I do have cable now.
Does your son probably not like that, huh? Does he care about cable?
He's kind of grown out of it too. You know, watching TV without commercials is awesome. I mean, I just find them almost reprehensible watching TV with commercials compared. And granted, with Hulu, you've got that little thing, but at least they got the little ticker talk, going that you know when it's coming. But otherwise, we mostly were watching Netflix over the last couple of years. So anyway, that's a little side note on bundling, which is kind of a problem for the cable company in theory, on paper. What's one of our conditions? Yeah, it's kind of similar. I'm not really reselling it, but I'm able to use it for free without them, restricting. They can't restrict the use of it, apparently. Now, maybe they could if they tried really hard, but maybe it's cost prohibitive to stop me from, they have to put in another contraption that costs $200 to stop me from getting. And then, of course, it's only the off chance that I'm clever enough to figure out that they can't provide it to me. Also, by the way, I don't get the top box for the on-demand products and other things. So that is part of when you buy cable, you get that. You're literally just taking the cable and plugging it into your TV and getting the basics. And it's not high def, so it's not the same product completely. Because I don't get like the high def ESPN and all those channels are usually high def. So it's not completely without its trade-offs. So not a perfect substitute. All right, let's call it a day there. And we will be getting into chapter 11.